Welcome to a new episode of Outside the Panels with your host, Johnny the Machine Hughes.
Welcome everyone to an episode of Outside the Panels. I'm your host, Johnny the Machine Hughes, and this week we are so far outside the panels, there's no panels at all to look at. I'm talking, of course, the serious work of novels. And with me, we have such a novelist, such a writer, in the form of Mr. Joshua Stevens. Joshua, how's it going, sir?
It's going pretty good, sir. How you doing today?
I'm very, very well. Very
Awesome.
well.
Awesome.
Excellent. So, you're here to talk about your book, The Dark Legend Saga. What's the story behind this? Give us the kind of 30-second elevator pitch.
Well, the basic premise of it is a young man on an alien world is actually given a advanced starship to actually go out and find a new home for his people. While the ship is launching, the main villain of the story destroys his planet by exploding a specialized weapon in their sun, which destroys everything in the solar system. And the rest of the story is basically them trying to end their beef together.
All right, okay. So you've got a little bit of Star Trek Voyager in there, maybe a little Battlestar Galactica looking for a new place. You've got a young boy with a destiny.
Yeah.
You've got a kick-ass spaceship going on. That's lots of science fiction influences you've got going on there. I take it you must be a huge sci-fi fan.
Yeah, I've watched sci-fi pretty much all my life. My most fondest memories are actually sitting on the couch watching Star Trek with my grandfather, every night growing up. So, yeah, I've really gotten into sci-fi.
Cool. And what is it about sci-fi that interests you so much? Is it like the settings? Is it the kind of human journey that the characters still have to go through? Especially Star Trek, it's that we are the best species, we're the best versions of ourselves in Star Trek, aren't we?
Yeah. But actually with it is just the unknown. Like you can honestly just put out there when some people say, okay, I see this in a wormhole or a black hole, you could honestly take that and make it into a story.
Yeah.
You have no limits with science fiction.
Yeah. That's interesting because, I mean, if you think about, I suppose metaphorically, if you think about the idea of space, there's no up, down, left, right. You're absolutely right. You can go off in any direction, can't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Excellent. And of course, some of the technology that we rely on nowadays has its basis in science fiction, right?
A little bit. I mean, a lot of stuff that we have today, you got to think about 60, 70 years ago would be science fiction.
Yeah. Look at us talking here. I'm in the UK. You're in sunny Minnesota. I mean, it's like, whoa. That's a distance and a half, isn't it?
Yeah, they never would have expected us to be able to do this. I mean, I'm sitting here on my laptop talking to you over in the UK. I mean, they would never expect this. I mean, this right there, they probably think, oh, black magic. No.
Hocus pocus. Well, if you think that's hocus pocus, let's take a look at your video trailer that's live on your Facebook. So let's get to this. Let me just maximize this up for you so you can see it. Here we go.
What would you do?
What reason would I have to go to a non-interstellar world? They are of no use to us.
I'm engaging the engines and beginning takeoff now.
I hope he can handle what responsibility I'm about to give him.
Tactical. Unleash hell.
You should be put down like the scum you are.
Wow, that looks pretty intense. It's got to be said.
It's pretty interesting. Every artwork, even the video, I did myself on a
Okay.
Well, I can't. Well, I got tired of trying to figure out how am I going to draw this on like a piece of paper, and then I found Blender. I was
All
like,
right.
oh, I can have a lot of fun with this.
And then so be it. Excellent.
Mhm.
Cool. So you've got you've got other things going on. You've got a vast republic. There's like a kind of government in place. You've got pirate clans going on.
Mhm.
You've got this ultra modern starship that the good guys using. Um, how do you manage to kind of curtail all those different strands to get it to like one coherent point?
The best way to describe, to actually say that, is I started with one object, which is actually the ship.
Mhm.
I originally drew something like it for a friend of mine years ago
Mhm.
for a D&D map. And
Spaceship in D&D. What's up?
yeah,
What sort of barbarian
well,
rolls a 20 dice and gets a starship?
well, he wanted three different cities. He wanted one in space, one underwater, and one,
Traditional.
underground. So, well, actually underground. So
Okay.
he, I gave it to him, but it was a completely different design. So I started thinking about it years later. I was like, you know what? I could probably do a scene with this ship.
Mhm.
And I started thinking about it. It's like, okay, this ship has to come from somewhere. So from there, I came up with the Republic. I came up with the entire lineage that the story is based on, plus
Mhm.
their eternal enemies, which is the pirate clans, which when you read the book, you'll find out where they actually come from
Mhm.
and see why they're so tied together. And from there, I just started just going out, just kind of seeing where it goes, just kind of let it flow organically,
Mhm.
and everything worked. I was kind of surprised. I was surprised nothing actually fell through, but everything worked really well, and I went with it.
Good. It's interesting how you kind of take that see what goes approach. I assume that there are elements that you want to focus on more than others, and I suppose during the storyline that becomes apparent which is important right now. How many books are in the series? How many books have you planned for?
Well, right now I'm working on the third one. I'm thinking about doing a fourth one, and that will probably be the end of this series. But it's going to lead into a second series.
Right, okay, cool. So you've got your exit strategy all planned out, ready to go.
Yeah.
You've got your next step moving forward.
Hmm.
Man, J. Michael Straczynski's got nothing on you, has he? What's the
Well,
funnest part? What's the funnest part for you from with creating this kind of world? Is it like the world building? Is it setting the dialogue? Is it moving from the set pieces? What's the fun bit?
well, to me, honestly, all of it's fun because I get to sit here and create characters that has different depths, different kinds of personalities, and each one's based off of someone that I actually know, or at least elements of them, maybe combined into one person. So it's fun just to take those elements and just put them into something, or just writing a story where you have fun with it. You don't just sit there and be a stick in the mud. You don't sit there and be serious all the time.
So in book 4, if I find a sarcastic bloke with a dodgy accent, I'm not to assume that that's me, right?
I'm not saying a word. I'm saying out of that.
Yeah. I take the fifth on that like nobody's business.
Exactly.
Excellent, good call. What's it like? So do you work with an editor, or do you do your own edits?
Well, on this book, yeah, I gave it to an editor and things, and
How's that feel? Because I mean, man, I hate when my day job. I hate handing over my book, my work to my boss for them to go, yeah, that's right. Oh, you could do that better. It like grinds my gears. How's that feel? Putting something you put so much time and effort in to hand it to somebody else to just kind of go over and critique.
Honestly, it depends. I mean, sometimes it doesn't feel bad because they're going to find something wrong.
That's
But
a mature
but
attitude. Yeah,
but
definitely.
at the same time, you know, they're just doing their best to make it the best work you can have. So
Mm.
I try not to take too much offense to it. But if it's something like I definitely need to be the way I put it, I tell them like, look, this is the way I need it.
Mm.
Like one of the battles in the book, it's an ancient battle,
Mhm.
and everything has to be capitalized in that. The battle of whatever,
Mhm.
that's actually a proper name. You don't sit there and like minimize like one of the letters.
Mm.
And that's what they were trying to do. I said, no, this is how it has to be.
Mm.
This is a historical battle in this universe.
Like the Battle of the Line at Babylon 5, for example.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I mean, some of those things that I really wanted to keep, I told them that it had to stay the way it was, and they did that.
Mm.
But everything else, I've sat there and reviewed for hours. I'd sit there and go through each page like meticulously and just look like, okay, that sounds better. That sounds better. Oh no, we're gonna change this back.
Yeah.
That's what I was doing at night. Sometimes my wife would say, "You gonna go to bed anytime soon?" No.
No. No.
Tomorrow's Saturday. I don't have to go to bed right now.
No, that's interesting. So for me, one of the things that kind of narc me when I read a book, I was given a book recently about Dan Marino, the quarterback for Miami Dolphins, and I started reading it, and I was like, wow, I really like this. This is a really good book. I enjoyed this. It is a well written piece of work. However, there's umpteen different spelling mistakes in it on like every page. It kind of takes you out of the flow a little bit.
Wow.
Are you kind of in a situation when you have your hands back your work, you're like, man, how did I miss that? How did I miss that?
Yeah, I actually found some after all the editing was done. It's like, how did I miss this? But it's one of those lines that's so interwoven in there. As soon as you get to it, you just kind of skim over and think you see what you're supposed to see.
Exactly.
And you completely forget about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the only
it's your
thing
memory. It's your mind playing tricks. Your eyes don't read everything, so your mind says that should say this.
Yeah, exactly.
And because that's what you intended to write. So then your mind says that's what that says, whereas your eyes are like saying, I'm checking out something else now. I'm not even looking.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you talk about Star Trek. Other influences are in there. The advanced spaceships. So I suppose that's a little bit Voyager in there. I suppose. The Hunt for a Planet, very Battlestar Galactica, very Voyager. You said you grew up watching Was it Next Gen? You watched?
Yeah, Next Gen.
Yeah. So how do you feel then that other science fiction, sort of like say the Battlestar Galactica reboot, the one with Edward James Olmos, it's dark, it's gritty, it's and then you've got Babylon 5, who we can all say we all enjoy Babylon 5. We love Babylon. Yeah. But the dialogue in Babylon 5 is wooden at times.
Yeah, it seems a lot forced, if I remember right.
Yeah. I think
I haven't watched
it
in a while.
It does a bad job of it. Tells, doesn't show. You get to that point where the character says, "Oh, right, so this," it just extends it rather than actually, what's shown us. We forget that TV is a visual medium in some places. How do you kind of curb the different styles of science fiction then, to kind of get to your version of what you want to tell?
I just basically, when it came to how people would actually talk, I just did it the way we would talk, like they do on the show The Orville. Have you seen that one yet?
Yeah. Seen a couple of episodes.
Yeah, that's actually, in my mind, that's the actually closest to what it should really be. Actually talking. It feels like you're having an organic conversation with people. And that's what I wanted. I didn't want anything to sounded forced. When it came to like the technologies mingling or anything like that, I just looked at the picture, of what I was doing, because a lot of times I'd have a picture in my mind how it's supposed to look, and I would see, okay, how can I make this organic as possible? And that's how I would do it, because I really don't think if I'm going to force something, it's going to sound terrible. But if I make it as organic as possible, that's going to sound actually genuine. It's going to make the story flow a hell sorry, a lot
No, it's
better.
fine. You say that's fine. Hell of a lot is fine. You can manage that one.
Okay. Sorry, I try and curb my language around my 9-year-old too. So
No,
yeah,
frack that, as they say somewhere along the line.
yeah, it's hard
Um,
sometimes.
it's cool. It's fine. I mean, I like the idea of this. The premise. The premise is great. You know, the different aspects you've got on. It's not just about the guy with the destiny, is it? There is a cast of characters. How do you go about fleshing them out so that each one has their own purpose? There are no ensign red shirts. You know what I mean about ensign red shirts?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know
So
exactly
you
what
know
you mean.
the old joke, don't you? Ensign red shirt bumps into a stormtrooper. The stormtrooper shoots and misses. Ensign red shirt dies anyway.
Yeah,
Right. So you've got to make sure
yeah.
that the characters that are in the book that readers spend time getting to know and getting to like have
Mhm.
an impact. How do you kind of flesh them out without taking too much away from the hero's story?
Well, a lot of it is actually just taking a leap of faith
Okay.
because in one part of the book, I have a situation where the main human character is in
Mhm.
trouble, and the only way
Good.
they can be the only way they can be saved, well, the bad guys basically came in. So, but basically, he has to take a leap of faith in allowing um, the hero of the story to actually take everything that he's worked for in tow, and that he's going to get it back safely
Mhm.
when it's been severely damaged.
Ah, okay. Cool.
And he has to take that leap of faith, which he doesn't hesitate. That's the
Mhm.
thing. Something keeps telling him that he can trust him. He can trust him. He can trust him. And which is a good thing because by the end of the story, you know, he's kind of going to have to trust him. But you're going to have to see why I'm saying that.
Oh yeah. Just
Yeah.
want people to buy the book, so don't be giving out the secrets just yet. Yeah.
Oh, I'm not giving out any secrets. I'm just saying, you know why
Yeah.
I'm saying buy the book.
Yeah. Buy the book. Find out what he's talking about. Because right now it sounds cryptic, but I guarantee you'll get there. You're like, oh, Joshua, you said this. Yeah. Good call.
Hmm.
Good call. Right. We'll take time for a quick break for one of our other adverts. I think it's been a while, so we should go maybe for this bad boy. This is Crisis in the Toyverse. There's Bobo with Crisis in the Toyverse. Joshua, fancy a toy series based on Dark Legends? Do you think?
Honestly, I have already came up with a game based on it on the Dark Legends.
A video game or a board
Well,
game?
a board game. I
Right,
haven't been able
okay.
I haven't been able to figure out how to make it like an actual video game yet, but I've actually tested it with some friends of mine, and they've actually enjoyed it.
Right,
So
okay, cool.
it's loosely we're going back to it, a D&D based game. But
Ah, right, okay.
the only difference is the players, instead of being like individual players, are part of the same crew, and they're not crew of this ship in the story, but they're crew of a second ship of the same class that got launched at the same time and found out they were sabotaged. So you have to actually go like from place to place, avoiding pirate clans, trying to get help, and see if you can find any other survivors
All
the
right,
best you
okay.
can.
All right, cool. You mentioned, the idea for this originally originated from D&D. You go back to your D&D board game style. Do you think that multimedia for different projects like this can help drive one begets the other, so to speak?
I think they can. I
Yeah.
mean, when one person starts talking about it and they share it, other people on their page going to see it and share it, and it just gets out
Cool.
there.
Cool. I think you're right. I think there's a whole swathe of different types of board games, probably non-traditional board games. I think we play. What do we play? I think we play something called Dark Castle, and it's very card based. You take a card, you do an action, you have a choice to take another. And it's interesting. It's not traditional D&D with dice or anything. So I think that idea is out there. I think people are looking for new things to get involved in. So it's cool. Is that going to be a Kickstarter, or is that going to be funded by the profits of the book?
Well, I'm thinking about it right now because honestly, I made the board myself. I haven't really shared it out or anything yet.
Oh, okay,
but
cool.
I'm thinking about it. If people's interested in actually wanting to play it, yeah, I'll definitely start making some and start selling them. But for right now, I'm just kind of sitting here, just kind of with other friends, playing the game and things. Which the cool thing about that is, they actually do have animations like what you just saw a little bit ago with my trailer. They actually have similar ones to that.
Wow. So you're a bit of a creative genius then, really. If you've got, you can do animation, you're writing, you're drawing, creating board games. Man, how do you fit it all in a day? That's why I stay up to 11 o'clock at night. Like, yeah, well, it's just
I have no idea. I have no idea anymore. So I just kind of go with it.
Cool. Excellent. So 3 books, possibly 4-book series. Is this your first foray into literature then? Is this your first book?
Yeah. This is the first book that I've actually written.
Are you not scared about the whole process now then? You're a warrior about it all.
No, I'm pretty much like, you know what? If this is going to happen, it's going to happen. Let's just do it, get it out there, and just go with the flow. Let's see what happens.
Cool. Who are your favorite authors then? Because obviously we've talked about influences being, the obvious TV science fiction like Babylon, Battlestar, Trek. So who's your favorite writers that you kind of still get a kick out of reading?
Honestly, I haven't read any of their stuff in a long time. Only because honestly, I barely have the time to even read anymore. But a lot of the things that I do actually like watch or anything now is just like history things. I'm really big into history.
Okay.
And that's why the story starts the way it does.
All right, brilliant. Because you've built up that 1,000-year thing, and you've got the generational elements, you've got the kid with the destiny sort of thing. Do you worry that reading other people's literature, whether it be science fiction or other fiction elements, do you feel that could lead to your ideas getting somewhat mished? I'll give you an example. Probably explains it better. I'm drawing and writing a comic book series all for myself, just for fun, just for grins, right? So I created a bad guy or a good guy, an assassin called Headshot, because I think that sounds like a great name for an assassin, right?
Yeah, it sounds pretty good.
Good name, yeah. So I thought, well, so he'd be in tight-fitting sort of like military clothes. He'd have a gun on his holster, on his leg. He'd wear a cool leather jacket, and on his head, instead of having a targeting device, he'd probably have like a ceramic like helmet that would be able to give him like that much peripheral vision. Yeah, you with me so far? When I drew it, I'd only gone and drawn the bloody Red Hood from Batman. I was like, that's the Red Hood, and I hate the Red Hood. So I'm thinking to myself, how did this happen? And it happens because I read that many comic books for Comic Crusaders that some of those ideas are going to lodge in here, and I'm going to pull them out every now and again. Reading science fiction as a hobby, do you think that would impact your ability to tell your story and keep it fresh and original.
Well, no, I've read a lot of science fiction books and stuff over the years. I just can't remember any of the authors. I've always been bad with names, but no,
Yeah.
it's not really like kind of muddled it up a little bit.
Mhm.
If anything, it may have shown me a different light that I could actually see. Like, okay, I'm trying to think. The best way I can describe it is like if I'm seeing one story right here, and if I read another one, on a bored day because I got writer's block or whatever, and I see something that, oh wait, hold on, this situation seems pretty cool, and I start reading how it fluidically came up and things like that. And I think, you know what, that's actually a good way to actually incorporate into another
Mhm.
story. Not the exact scene, but
Mhm.
just how it flowed. So a lot of times when I read something, it does help with the story
Mm.
itself. But
Good.
I haven't really had a problem with anything kind of muddling anything up yet.
Mudging the water a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just me. Maybe I just got lazy and thought, let's draw the Red Hood. I don't care. I hate the Red. I hate the Red Hood. I really do. I just don't get it at all. It's fine. Excellent. What can I say? Right. So you are on social media. We can check you out on Facebook. There you go. Yeah. So that looks like a really long address. But honestly, go to Facebook, type in Dark Tech 739, it should come up, or you could type in Dark Legends. That will work as well. Good.
Yeah.
Additionally, you can check out the website. You've got newmansprings.com. Again, if the link's too long, just type Dark Legends, it'll take you there. The book is currently out now, correct, Joshua?
Yeah. Currently, it's out on Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, and the Apple Books, I think it is.
All right, okay, cool. So for Amazon readers, that's international. You can get that anywhere you like. Yeah.
Yeah.
Barnes and Nobles is a US thing. I'm sure they've got UK subsidiaries somewhere along the line.
You probably do.
Do you find? Did you mind how the book gets put out there? Do you prefer it to be like in people's hands in an actual book, or do you not mind if it's digital?
Well, no, it's digital too.
Yeah.
It's available in soft cover and ebook right now.
Do you mind
That's
which? Do you have a preference of which format? Because I know, for example, I read shed loads of comics. I prefer reading a comic than
yeah,
scrolling through a comic.
yeah. There's nothing better than actually feeling the pages in your hands, in my opinion.
Yeah. I agree.
But I mean, if people like it, yeah. I mean, they can get scrolling on phones and stuff. I've done that plenty of times when I'm trying to remember. Okay, what did I do in here? Because I have a copy of the book at my desk. Just so if I get lost, it's like, okay, where did I put this again? Who did what?
Where is the matter transducer? Who has anyone seen the matter transducer?
Exactly. and that's one thing I will admit to doing with stories. I mentioned something in the current working on that has a tie to, like, say, the first one or the second one, which the second one should be coming out, I'm hoping, next year. So if I have to go back and look, I'll go back and look and see exactly where it's at, and like, oh, okay, I remember this now, and I'll just kind of make a reference back to that, so that so that we can actually
Maintain
keep
its
all books tied
continuity.
in together.
Yeah, exactly. Good call. Continuity is a bugger. It's a pain. And I am that person who'll watch something on TV, and when there's a continuity glitch, I'll be like, pause, rewind, and I'll say to my wife, "Did you see this? Look at this. How's that glass get full again? You just take the." Yeah, that's me. So sorry. I must have the eyes of an editor.
Oh,
and
don't
the
feel
soul
bad.
of a dead poet.
Don't feel bad. Every time we go somewhere, like every time me and my wife go somewhere, like say to church or anything, I've also done some sound work before, like boards and things. I used to do that for my church back in Texas where I grew up. But if I hear anything that sounds like that, I'll look at her and says, they don't know how to work that thing, do they? I I even tell the pastors, like, look, you really need to get that fixed. What?
Yeah.
And I start going through. I even kept them after church one night just to go over everything in the sound system.
Yeah. Oh man. Harsh. All right, there we have it. The book, Dark Legends Saga. We've mentioned it before. Check it out on Facebook. Plenty of updates on there. Plenty of news and information about the series. Go to the source. Check newmansprings.com for further information. As Joshua mentioned, it is available through Amazon as an ebook, as is a softcover, and of course Barnes & Noble if you are stateside, or wherever there's a Barnes & Noble near you, they'll be able to order it in for you. Sounds like a plan. Joshua, well done, sir. Great book.
Thank you.
Great ideas put together. I like the whole commingling of influences. I like that a lot. Well done. You must be very pleased with how this year is shaping up for you with this book.
Yeah, I'm actually very pleased with how everything came together. I mean, it's been a very happy year for me.
Cool. Excellent. Well, you deserve all the success in the world, or even in the outer world, if we're talking science fiction. Thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it. And we'll give you some push on this book for you. No, certainly. Is that okay?
All right. Thank you very much.
Guys, don't forget to check out the UCPN for all your favorite shows, including, you saw the advert earlier, Joshua's got a board game potentially coming out. You might have some figures coming out. You never know. It is a crisis in the Toyverse. And of course, don't forget to check out TDC. There's a fair crusade for all you DC fans. And for Marvel, it's a No Prize podcast, which includes the MCU and Disney+. Joshua, thank you again so much for taking the time to chat with me. I really do appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Thanks.
And I've been your host, Johnny Machine Hughes. So as always, guys, adios.
Visit undercovercapes.com for the latest and greatest podcasts via the Undercover Capes Podcast Network. Also visit our parent company website, comiccrusaders.com, all about comic pop culture.